What's up, guys? Welcome back to Stability WOD, episode 6. We're back from Mexico and we're ready to get back into action here. Want to kind of target the hip a little bit today. We're going to use a stretch band for that purpose, although we could do it on a cable apparatus using some of the ankle attachments and so forth. But for our purposes, since we don't have those apparatus, we'll stick with the stretch band. Also means we can do it at home when we can't get to the gym. That being said, if we look at the anatomy of the shoulder, very similar in some ways to the anatomy of the hip joint. It's also very dissimilar in some ways. Shoulder joint, a lot of mobility. Hip joint, not quite the same degree, but the way the muscles support the joint is very similar, and we all kind of know our rotator cuff muscles. We talk about them a lot. We're always trying to cultivate good overhead positions so we don't put extra wear and tear on those rotator cuff muscles. Now we want to look at that from the hip and from the hip's point of view, if you will. So we're going to utilize 4 movements that we've all done before. So hip extension, hip abduction, hip flexion, and hip adduction. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab our stretch band. We've got it anchored down here to the bottom of the weight stack. This could be a chair, a couch, any sort of fixed piece of furniture. Want to go ahead and get our foot anchored in there. The further away we are, the more resistance. Obviously, the closer, the less resistance. We need to now get our balance on one side so that we can effectively extend that hip, right? So I want to extend just from the hip muscles themselves. I may even come back on a slight diagonal rather than just straight back. I want to get at least 15 to 25 repetitions there. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and turn myself 90 degrees. In this case, I'm going to have the foot that's banded in front of the foot that is not. If I need to, I can reach out and try to balance if I have something close enough, but now I want to go out and to the side, right? So again, balanced on the one side, extending on the other side. And again, now I'm working the outer aspect of that hip capsule. Again, 15 to 25 as I make my way around. I'm going to now go for hip flexion, which is going to be a little bit more dynamic, but I need to get from this position up and in and back out, up and in. So very much like that running mechanic if we're running with those good high knees. Last but not least, I now want to come around and go across the front of my body with adduction. So again, I've got my balance, I've got my band anchored, and now I want to be able to come across the front, and so forth. So we're looking at 15 to 25 repetitions in each of those 4 places. If 1 round is sufficient, stay there. If you've got the capacity for 2 and 3 rounds, by all means add them gradually. Once you've gotten to a 3rd round and can do them unbroken, sort of seamlessly transitioning all the way around, we'll go ahead and add some layers to that, but we'll save that for another episode. That's your homework for this week. Get after it.